everyone has been talking about this information that came out earlier this morning about choujinx apparently getting an anime adaptation. Now, before I go any further, there is something that does need to be stated, okay? Something that needs to be clarified before I go in and talking about this subject matter, is that at this current time, this is not official confirmation. There is no official source that has announced that choujinx is in the work for an anime. There's no official source to back up that Studio Madhouse is working on it. There's no official source to say that this is going to be the director for it if there is an anime, or this is going to be the animation producer if there is an anime. So at this current period in time, this is just theoretically a leak. This is not necessarily 100% proven to be true, so do take everything here with a grain of salt. But there is a few things that give a little bit credibility to this that does need to be talked about, so let's get into that first. So basically, a few months back, you probably heard about it, I made a video on it myself, that Tokyo Ghoul had some form of new anime project in the works. You know, there was a site made and registered and all that. You know, we have this post here in particular talking about it, basically saying that Tokyo Ghoul Anime 10th Anniversary Project might be upcoming, judging from a recent web domain registration. And obviously, you know, with the buzz now around Tokyo Ghoul and all that, and all attention now on, you know, Ishida Sui, the author of Tokyo Ghoul and choujinx, you know, it makes sense that there is definitely probably something going on under the hood, probably in the anime industry. And, you know, I feel like because of just how legendary of an author Ishida Sui is, I mean, he makes gorgeous work. I mean, this is from choujinx, as you can see here. I believe this is a volume cover. You know, he makes really good stuff, and, you know, I feel like, you know, a lot of people can easily take a glance at, like, something from Tokyo Ghoul and instantly recognize, you know, who it's from and all that, like a panel or something, because, you know, Ishida Sui is a really well-known and iconic author in Japan. And so, throwing that all into one steaming, boiling pot, you know, it's a no-brainer that choujinx would eventually be picked up by an anime studio. Even if, you know, once again, this source that came out isn't official, there's no confirmation at this time, we cannot deny that it was only a matter of time. It is only a matter of time. It was never a question of, is it going to get an anime? It was more or less, when will it get an anime, and who will work on it? And I think that's always been the community's main focus point, you know, who would actually pick up the series. And so let's dive into this. So let's just go on a limb here, and let's just hypothetically say that this individual here isn't clout farming, or, you know, they're not lying, or whatever, and I'm going to assume that there is some credibility to this, once again. But once again, it is leaks, no official confirmation. But let's just say choujinx, this is legit accurate information to some degree. So let's look at the director. The director, you know, Shingo. So this is the director, and, you know, who apparently would be working on the choujinx anime. They have worked on a bunch of things, like Sony Boy, very, very good series, honestly. If you have never watched Sony Boy, you really should. Aka 13, really love that series. I mean, they've worked on, you know, One Punch Man, as you can see here, Mob Psycho. You know, they've worked on Space Dandy as well. I mean, they even, like, directed and storyboarded Space Dandy. So it's just like, yeah, this is definitely someone you would want to work on choujinx. If this is legit the actual director, this is a dream come true. Now, as for the animation producer, this is who this individual is, Fukushi, and they've worked on Frieren as of late, as you can see here, Tact Ops, Sonny Boy, you know, they've worked on Aka 13, you know, it's clear that, you know, these two individuals, you know, Shingo and, you know, Fukushi, they definitely have some history, they've worked on similar projects together, so they definitely know how it is to work as a team. So, if there is anyone that I would like to see, if this is actually accurate information, this is definitely what I would like to see. Now, also on top of that, we gotta factor in that, you know, this person also mentioned Madhouse. Now, once again, we don't know if this is true or not, but if we had to say that if it is the current Madhouse working on choujinx, that's amazing news, because obviously, you know, recently what Madhouse has worked on, if, you know, people are unaware, is Frieren. They literally gave us this series that was straight up is now a modern day classic. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. You're going to go 10 years from now, people are going to recognize Frieren. It is a modern day classic anime that is just made so many countless memes and little moments now throughout the community. It's definitely going to stay. It's not going to be something that's going to be forgotten with, like, you know, a few anime seasons. It's going to stick around because it is something that really just moved a lot of people when they sat down and watched it. So that Madhouse that created this project with their team and freelancers, etc., you know, apparently they are working on a choujinx anime. So if this is true, That's incredible, straight up. Now, I do want to point out that this artwork here is not official artwork. This is actually from this individual right here that, came out back in 2021, so it's very, very old artwork, but I did want to shout out the artist as well, and I don't see a lot of fan art of choujinx. I feel like it's probably because choujinx is more of a niche series in comparison to maybe what Tokyo Ghoul was, and it really just needs kind of a more, like, a venture into the spotlight to really get people's eyes on it, and I think then, there'll be a lot more people probably diving in and making a lot of artwork and stuff of it, which that gets to the next point of talking about this post from this apparent leaker. Now, one thing I will say, that yes, we live in a day and age where people can say stuff online saying so-and-so anime isn't upcoming, they give a director, an animation producer, a studio, etc., and a lot of people go out of their way to believe that it's actually accurate. And obviously, people lie and stuff often, and you come to find out it's actually false and fake. But then, a year later, there is an anime announcement for that series that they, talked about, and it's just like, huh. And the thing is, it's like, a lot of people do this stuff to clout chase, but most of the time, it's very obvious what something's going to get an anime or not, and choujinx will eventually get one. But I don't think it is one of those series that's just so overwhelmingly popular that a lot of people can easily use to, like, clout chase and gain, I guess, fame from. Because I feel like, yeah, the only thing that really will drag people to this is those that are obviously Tokyo Ghoul fans. I'm not saying choujinx is bad, but a lot of people that haven't even started choujinx and all that are caught up with choujinx are mainly those that are just waiting to see if, the series, is really going to cook to the same degree as Tokyo Ghoul. And on top of that, waiting for a potential anime. Or some might not even be aware it exists, because a lot of people just only read Tokyo Ghoul, and they just kind of fell off, probably following what Ishida Sui was doing because he took a break for a while. So there's a lot of things to factor into all this, but I don't think choujinx is a series that people can really use to gain and farm engagement as easy. So I like I said, I'm inclined to believe to some degree that this information is accurate. Maybe not all of it, but I do believe, at the very least, that there's one takeaway. I do believe there is an anime in the works. If I had to take an educated guess, judging by what we got a few months back and all that with stuff like this, I'm going to assume if we're going to get an announcement for Tokyo Ghoul, since we haven't gotten it from Anime Expo, I believe, or any information about it and stuff, I'm going to take an educated guess and assume we might get an announcement maybe around October, November. I'm going to assume that. If we get some information around then I think that, yeah, we might, we're probably going to get an anime. I could definitely see at the earliest around then, like October, November, December, and then I'll say an anime's coming, and then obviously we'll probably have to wait until like maybe mid-2025 or whatever to be able to actually watch the series. But yeah, I wanted to talk about this information. I saw a lot of people commenting on it. I had a lot of people, adding me as well, saying like, Chibi, did you hear about choujinx getting an anime? And so I wanted to talk about that. But anyways, thank you so much for watching the video. I greatly appreciate it. I love all of you. Be safe, stay healthy. Chibi out.